Hello everyone, welcome to the Artist to Artist show, live from electricmoon.org. And this is a show that we bring on songwriters and artists. We talk about the songwriting craft, our inspirations, the muse, all of those beautiful things. Sometimes we have live painters on. We create something live in the flesh and share with all of you. But tonight we have a very special guest, a Los Angeles songwriter. She's brilliant. She's amazing, amazing singer, knows how to write a song and put it together. We have a fantastic conversation prepared for you. Please welcome Chelsey Coy from Single Girl, Married Girl, in conversation with myself, Arthur Autumn, live from electricmoon.org. Here's Artist Show.
Your heartbeat is revolution. Your heartbeat is in the rain. Your heartbeat is in growth inside. Nobody can take away. Your heartbeat is evolution.
We met in kind of an extraordinary way, at least to me. Talk to us about how we met.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing a show at Molly Malone's and it was right before the show started and you were there to see your friend Craig.
Yeah, Craig Adams.
And
Yep.
I was just getting my stuff together and yeah, I know your friend Taylor. So I said hi to Taylor and then she introduced us and you asked if I could sing Nirvana and I was like, yeah. I actually
you were like,
yeah,
we're doing a Nirvana song tonight.
Right. Yeah. So
that's right.
It was fortuitous.
Yeah, you're Taylor Meskimen's friend too. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, it was extraordinary for me because we're putting the night together for Nirvana for the Sun Art Review for the monthly residency that we have at Hotel Cafe, and this one we had like 2 weeks to get together, so it was like hustling hard. And I think we had a bit of the lineup set, but it wasn't complete. And I had some missing pieces. And one of the things I wanted to do is, I always appreciate people outside of the particular artist that we're honoring, outside of that world, because chances are you're going to get something interesting.
Right.
But for me, I was kind of more attracted to kind of bring on girls to interpret the Nirvana songs.
Right.
And I'd actually heard when Nirvana was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic and Pat Smear, they're like, you know what? Let's just get girls to sing these songs at the ceremony because that's probably what Kurt would want.
Right.
So they ended up getting Joan Jett, and I think St. Vincent did one. I think Lord maybe did one. And that was it. So I was like, I'm trying to get this night together, and everybody that performed is great. I like them all, but there's certain people that are going to work better for a different night. Like you would have been brilliant on the Patsy Cline night. But anyway, so I was kind of figuring it out, and I was a little stressed out because I'm like, man, clock's ticking. I got to get this night together. And I went to the show to support Craig Adams, and you came over. And Taylor was like, this is Brent. And I said, hi. And then it was extraordinary because you're like, yeah, I love Nirvana and I'm doing a Nirvana song tonight. It wasn't just you were a fan, but you're like doing Polly that night. So it was kind of a cool little, like, I think Kurt kind of lined that up.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And another crazy thing that happened the last time we did Nirvana before, a couple years ago before the pandemic. And I was in Hotel Cafe, I think, posting up the show posters, and Rudy Love, who's a brilliant R&B soul singer, you're not going to believe this. He was on the piano while I'm trying to put the Nirvana night together, on piano, doing a soulful version of Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was like,
that sounds
Kurt,
awesome.
I just got the chills. I was like, Kurt is like working. He's like, okay, man, he was a pretty sarcastic guy, so I don't know if you'd appreciate being honored, but maybe he's like, hey man, I like what you do here. I'll make it easy on you.
Right.
So that was a crazy moment. So I talked to Rudy after his show. I said, hey, we're doing this like tribute to Nirvana. Would you join us? And he's like, I'd love to. And he did. And we became friends as well.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, crazy.
Kurt brings us all together.
Hey, thank you, Kurt. Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you, Kurt Cobain,
I
for
know.
I wish you were
I
still here.
I know. I wish he was still here too. I actually did. The reason we do a cover of Polly is
Yeah.
because like 8 years ago, we played a show in Brooklyn that was a tribute to Nevermind.
Ah,
It was like a 20-year or 25-year anniversary. I can't remember. I should look that up. But
yeah.
yeah, so we all the bands of the night got to choose one song off the album. We chose
Wow.
Polly, and then we got to play a original song as well. So that's why. And then we recorded a live version of it in our studio where we
Yeah.
recorded like 2 albums. And yeah, I just started performing it again in LA. So
It's amazing. Are you particularly a fan of Nirvana, or was it the night that you got asked to do, or how did that come about?
I've always been a fan. I mean, I was a kid of the 80s. Like I was born in the 80s. I was a kid of the 90s, and they were, a little bit older
Yeah,
than my age group, but I really
likewise.
got into Weezer, the first
Yeah.
album of Weezer, and I think that kind of like brought in all the rest of the like alt rock
Weezer.
and grunge. Yeah, that Blue album I
Wow.
still love to this day. I know Weezer.
No, it's great.
Um, but yeah, so I've been a fan. I didn't know the lyrics, like I didn't know every song by heart, but now I know Polly because I sing it all the time.
Gosh,
So
what was that one Weezer song off the Blue? You take your car to work, I'll take my boat. Brilliant.
yeah.
No, Rivers is great, and it's interesting. I think he went to Princeton or Yale, Rivers.
I thought he went to Harvard, but
Was it Harvard? Okay.
maybe not. And then he also went to USC while I was there.
You're kidding.
No, because I have a friend who was in a project with him.
Wow.
Did a project with him.
Yeah,
So yeah.
he's a very bright guy. He actually,
Right.
speaking of Nirvana and Weezer, of course, many of those guys were fascinated with Nirvana, their peers,
Hmm.
and Rivers was one of them. And he actually mathematically kind of broke down some of Cobain's songwriting, um, not habits, but the way he would write. He broke down like song by song of Nirvana and kind of described Cobain's method,
Right.
like
Yeah.
in a very intense, like mathematical way. Crazy.
Yeah, he gets very fixated on things. He did like a whole opera album, and yeah, my husband's a huge fan. So
Ah,
yeah, he knows way more about Weezer than I ever care to. But I'm glad we have that in common, that we both really love Pinkerton and the Blue album.
yeah, Pinkerton, their
Yeah.
oddball record. I just
Right.
saw him on Weezer did a Beach Boys song for this tribute.
Mm.
Sounded great.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'm sure they killed that.
Very
All the
cool.
harmonies.
Yeah, they nailed it. They
Mhm.
nail it. So talk to me about, how many records do you have out now? Talk to me. I spent a lot of time with your music today.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, I I have technically 2 albums out with my band, that my lineup that I put together with my husband in New York. And since moving back to LA, I've kind of got together an LA lineup. Sometimes my New York musicians come out here and we play, but since I'm playing more shows than that they're capable of in the pandemic,
Yeah.
I put together an LA lineup. And yeah, so we did 2 albums with them, Spark and 3 Generations of Leaving, and we recorded both in Riff Studios in Brooklyn with our friend
Okay.
Tom. And Tom is amazing. He's just a wonderful person, and
Yep.
also just like, I've never heard mixes that are as clean and perfect than the
Yeah.
ones he does. He works with a lot of bands. He worked with Chromeo, or he still works with Chromeo. So yeah, it was an honor to record with him. And before that, when we moved to New York, we put out an EP with some friends that it was under Single Girl, Married Girl, but we had recorded it with Pierre de Reader from Rilo Kiley.
Oh, wow.
It's just 5 songs. Yeah, Jenny. It was 5 songs, and it's only on our Bandcamp right now. So if you want to hear those songs, you can go there. And then before that, we put an album out called Be China, and that has like some really rough, like almost demo like songs on it. I think we put that out in like 2012, and yeah.
Yeah, your records sound great, and I have to say, I think I told you this off camera, but I'm a huge fan. I mean,
thank you.
I think what you're doing is fantastic. Your songwriting, your voice, the harmonies on your records, and one thing I took note of is on, is it Wreck Cut Loose?
Yeah.
The drums on that one, I was going to ask you where you recorded, because the drums on that one sound amazing.
Oh yeah, so epic. Our drummer Oscar is New York based, and we recorded everything. I think that one we recorded live, guitar, because it was electric guitar and drums in one room, and then upright bass in the booth.
Yeah.
And I kind of just did scratch vocals in the mixing lounge. But yeah, I think that was live. I can't really remember. God,
sounds amazing.
We recorded that in like 2018, I want to say.
Really?
Yeah.
It sounds great. It's got that real, it's got a really wet drum sound that I tried to go for on the last record. Actually, all my records, but it's got a, Nigel Godrich worked with Radiohead, and in particular, the drums on that sound like the drums on Sea Change.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love Beck.
Yeah, I'm a huge Beck fan. I'm a huge fan of Sea Change too. So I heard that drum sound, like, oh, she's got that. She caught it.
Oh, thank you. That's a lovely compliment. I'm a huge fan of all those people. So it's funny that you say the drums, because actually that's the only song on the album that we didn't write. Our old drummer, when we first moved to New York, we had a different lineup, and our old drummer wrote that song, and we would cover it. And when he left the band, we kind of stopped playing it. And then we asked him if we could record it, because me and my husband just loved the song so much. And yeah, we loved it enough to do a music video for that one song. So
it's a great song.
Yeah, thank you. I love it.
We'll talk more about, there's a couple other songs that I really, really adored. I'd like to learn more, but talk to us about, your creative process. Like, what do you pick up the banjo to record? Is it piano? Is it guitar? Is it lyric melody first? What happens?
It really depends on the song and what I'm feeling. I'm kind of like, I'm a Pisces, so whatever mood I'm in, like I have to pick my outfit the day I wake up, because I never know what I'm gonna feel.
You have to pick your outfit to write the song in?
Well, no, but like if I'm feeling a certain way that morning, I'll be like, I need to wear this or I need to wear that, but not because I'm recording, but like packing for me is the hardest, because I need to have like all the options brought with me.
That would be tough. You have one of those tour
I know. And like one of them,
I get a picture of you just throwing this out. No, I'm not feeling blue, orange, purple. Oh.
I'm totally that person. My closet behind me is like chock full of vintage dresses. So yeah. Yeah.
Not to get sidetracked, but that jacket, I'm still after that jacket.
Oh, was it the cape? Yeah.
No, you let me wear the Cobain mask.
The leopard print coat. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Man.
I forgot. I have so many coats. Coats are like my downfall. I love coats. And I live in California. Oh
yeah.
But yeah, my process is always to serve the song. So if I have a whole phone of voice memos, voice notes. I use an app called Hum, where I can write lyrics and more info on it, and also record. The only issue is like there's not multi recording tracks on that. I think there is an app now that has like multi-track to add, but I might as well just put it in Logic at that point.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
record.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do start with the banjo a lot, but I've been trying to start with different instruments just to like feel a different way, like get a different vibe going. Two
Yeah.
of the songs on the last album, Three Generations of Leaving, I wrote solely with vocals. And then I took the vocal demos with all the harmonies and whatnot and took them to the band,
Okay.
and they tried to figure out what the
Wow.
instrumentation would be.
Wow.
So that was actually really fun. I remember my guitarist Charlie at the time was like playing Hurt Her So in like a major key, and I'm like, no, it's more minor, like we have to do
Wow.
it this way. So like the
Plus,
way
I'm
that
wearing blue.
right? Yeah, it has to be blue.
Right.
Um
Right.
so yeah, the way that it was interpreted was just so cool to me because
Wow.
it came from my head and my like I'm not a skilled musician per se, like with my instruments. So
Yeah.
if I do play an instrument to songwrite, it can also hinder me. So my vocal,
Yeah.
I would say like prowess is something I kind of like rely heavily on.
Yeah.
And melodies really come easy. So once I get started, it's like melodies, and then I just usually pick something I want to say.
Yeah.
If I'm writing for like film and TV, it's usually more direct. If I'm writing for my band or another project, it can be more artsy, and I'll come from like a more obtuse place.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so that for Single Girl, Married Girl, my husband helps write the lyrics with me. So
Okay.
I will make a demo and give them to him to like listen to
Okay.
and see if he can kind of, I guess, edit, perfect the lyrics and what
And
I'm
is he
trying
in
to
the
say.
band too? Is he in the
No.
band?
No, he's not. He can play guitar and he's written a ton of songs, but he has terrible stage fright. So
Wow.
so he just he's not interested in playing. He has a full-time job, and yeah, he's
Okay.
just not interested in that. But yeah,
Interesting.
he's a great writer. So he helps with lyrics, and that
Wow.
fulfills him, and he gets a lot of joy out of that. And like, hey, the New York Times picked up one of our songs off the album last year, and his lyrics were mentioned. So that's pretty
Wow.
cool.
I believe it.
Yeah.
You're a brilliant songwriter.
Oh,
Your
thank
records
you.
sound great. So
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you play a little bit of piano as well, or?
I do. Yeah. Guitar, piano, banjo. Yeah.
Now, do you ever just kind of write to write and then figure out where it wants to go on its own, or do you typically send it for the band? And
No.
actually, have you done solo stuff too? Just
Yep.
under Chelsey Coy?
Yes. I have a solo project that's just under me. It's like a little bit folky, poppy, but it just doesn't fit with the band. And then
Yeah.
I have a hip hop indie pop duo
What? I didn't
with
know that.
with one of my co-owners from 206 Music. And he does all the production and usually raps on it, and I sing. We write the songs together and I sing.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been really fun. We put out a really, really cool cover of Don't You Forget About Me last year, the Simple Minds.
Really?
Yeah, you should take a listen. It's called Checks, CH. It's a weird E. I don't know. It's like the gamma E or whatever. And then X. Yeah.
That's the name of your band? Is that band?
Checks. Yeah,
Checks.
because
Wow.
Chelsey and Alex.
I gotta check
So-
that out.
Yeah, it's Let's Talk More Checks on Instagram.
You gotta
It's
text that
cheeky.
to me later.
Okay, will do.
Yeah, 'cause I gotta check that out because I'm loving everything that you do.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Oh.
we got a few songs on TV shows, so we've released the songs that have been on those shows. So yeah,
Is that through your licensing company as well? Because you're doing some
those
licensing.
those were not with my company, but yeah, through other companies, licensing companies. So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
So when you're doing a solo thing, is it pretty much on banjo or guitar and the lyric and the melody?
Yeah, I mean, mostly it's banjo. Sometimes it's piano, sometimes it's guitar, and sometimes it's vocal. Honestly, I just like coming at songwriting from all angles,
Yeah,
and sometimes I have an idea like lyrically, like a theme, and I, usually brainstorm and write down a bunch of ideas
yeah,
and then see kind of what the common thread is, see what fits and what the best way to say it
yeah,
that hasn't been said before, even though,
yeah,
sometimes you can't you can't
yeah.
do that because it's been said so many ways. Um, so yeah, I I like the fact that I'm doing lots of different projects because it kind of gives me different
Gosh.
avenues to express myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's interesting. Some people have a very certain way, like, oh, I always write the music first, or I always write the lyric. I'm kind of like you. I
yeah,
just, however it appears is how it appears. I really don't know. I mean, I think I might just fiddle that guitar.
yeah,
Then I might have something in my notebook that kind of sparks something. I do like to I mean, I'm from kind of, the Beatles and melodic and catchy.
yeah,
I think, that's kind of my world. So sometimes I'll start with a hook, the big hook, and then I'll kind of build around it and figure
yep,
it out. But as far as my solo work, it's a little bit different because I'm kind of doing, the music and the lyric, but in a rock and roll band, like maybe similar to Single Girl, Marry Girl, it's different. It's a little bit more, we would just they would handle all the music and I would handle the lyric and the melody. And we would just kind of get in a room and jam, and I would thumb through my notebook and figure it out from there. But rarely, well, sometimes I would hum a riff or something,
mm,
but it just kind of, just, there's no rhyme or reason,
right,
or they send me a song and I just kind of find my way in it and try to be
right.
part of the organism somehow. But I don't, yeah, definitely not music or lyric first, but I do write a lot. I mean, I'd start with a brainstorm
Hmm.
to think about, okay, I'm gonna write a song, get this off my chest, or
Right.
talk about this particular thing that needs to be addressed, and then just pick up an instrument and try and figure it out, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's more skilled guitar players than I as well. So sometimes I do just like, oh, you take this because I'll wreck it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
I'm all for everybody else playing and me
yeah,
just singing.
it takes us in a different place, you know.
Right.
We may have something where it's like a melody, it's like, oh man, that what you put under that is like so much better.
Right.
But lately I've been writing songs for the kids for Electric Moon Foundation. And I tell you what, that Chelsea, that is a challenge. Over the past year, I've been doing that and it is a challenge.
That's so fun. I'm sure
It's
those kids are loving it.
they're amazing and they're smart, but I tell you what, it's got to be catchy or they're not going
Yeah.
to participate
Right,
on
right.
them. Because at the end of our programs, we do a concert for
Mm,
family and friends. So I have to write something that's really catchy, but they're also kids who have been through a lot, so they're not going to buy like, I have a little red wagon down this. They're not gonna, yeah, that's not gonna fly.
right.
So I have to find something sophisticated enough, but still catchy and still relatable. So
Hmm.
it's a remarkable challenge, man. I always think if we were to ask Paul McCartney that, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, writing a kid song, it's impossible. That's hard." It's so. Have you ever tried with anything like that?
Oh yeah, well, for sync, I've written like every genre known to man except for metal.
Okay,
But yeah, children's songs it's a different
it is.
mindset. I did a track for Nickelodeon, not it didn't get on, but my friend and I wrote it, and um yeah, I thought it turned out pretty good.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a wonderful challenge. Just kind of keeps our chops up,
Hmm.
And a lot of times we can take those songs and um, finger pick it,
Hmm.
slow it down, and then all of a sudden it becomes a little bit more, relatable to
Absolutely.
adults if you do it in clever way. You got to keep the red wagon out of the
Uh,
lyric. But
I mean,
anyway,
not necessarily if that red wagon is like
hey,
a metaphor for, I don't
this
know,
this is
something.
true. You just can't say, it's rolling down the street.
Yeah,
But you're
exactly.
right. It could work. I'll think about that. I'll get back to you on that. We
Or it
can
could be
make
like an
it
old
work.
car, like an old, 57 like Chevy wagon that's red.
Hey, I'm sure Beck has got Red Wagon in one of his songs somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Absolutely. Well, cool. What do you ever get stuck in the creative process, and do you have any techniques that you could
Mm,
tell your fans about how you get out of that? How do you get out of that? Do you have any methods? Or maybe you
yeah.
don't ever get stuck?
No, I think everyone gets stuck every once in a while. I mean, I don't push myself to write if I'm not feeling it. I mean, I'm pretty much always thinking about music and thinking of like what I can be doing and like
Yeah.
recording things. So I'm technically always like writing in my
Yeah.
brain, but
Yeah.
I don't always sit down with like an instrument and flesh out a song, because coming back, like rewriting songs and fleshing them out is the hard part, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I usually leave that until like I'm certain the song is worth doing that with.
Sure.
So yeah, if
Yeah.
I have a demo that I'm like, oh, this has potential, then I'll get excited to start working on it. But
Yeah.
if I do have a block, I usually go to a show, or I'll go see a
Mm,
musical, or I'll go out in nature.
great.
Walking and driving seem to be things that are catalysts for creativity in me.
Yeah.
I'll I'll be walking down the street and like, melodies will pop into my head, so I'll record them really quick. There's
Yeah.
usually like noise in the background. Um and
It
then
could
yeah,
be that you're just, what's that?
reading as well. Like
Great.
yeah.
Yeah, I find that I have about 2 hours of a creative burst, and then I
Right.
start to just dial it in,
Mhm.
and I don't ever want to do that. Or it just, you get up the next day, like, okay, that's rubbish. That was after your 2 hours. After 2 hours, I was talking to a friend about this the other day. I kind of feel like 11 from Stranger Things, where I'm just drained, and then I
Yeah,
have to kind of recharge. Like painting is different. I can
absolutely.
paint all through the night. No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
But songwriting, I think it might be the pressure that we put on ourselves, and I think maybe you get a little bit looser when you just go for a walk, because
Right.
you're not really thinking about it, and you're letting your heart and just kind of open up and let your mind not think. So
Mhm.
maybe that's part of what helps you open up a little bit.
Maybe, yeah. And there, my favorite thing to do is like listening, like overhearing someone's conversation and something cool, like a line, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's good," and then I'll write it down and like come
That's
back to
great.
it later.
That happens a lot. I've
Yeah.
often wanted to. I'm sure you've been down to the Venice Boardwalk.
Yes.
You walk by so many people, except during the pandemic, that was freaky to see because no one
I
was out.
know.
But I've always wanted Chelsea just to kind of walk down the boardwalk because I love going there. It's one of my favorite places. The artwork, the people, the ocean. Just walk and jot down notes of random things that people are saying as they
Yeah.
go by, and just make a song out of it.
Right. Yeah,
Because what you hear in people's conversation is like nuts, and you only get a
totally.
bit, so your imagination can just run wild.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It helped when I lived in New York and I was on the subway, and
Same
I could just
thing.
be I can people watch and like listen. I'm the creepy woman that's like listening to your conversation
In your vintage dress.
in my vintage.
That's blue.
Yeah, that's not black because I don't wear black usually. So
Ah,
everyone in New York is like, "Do you always dress that way?" I'm like,
I
"Yes."
I love it, man. I love your style. It's
Oh, thank
fantastic.
you. Thank you.
Well, what do you think? You want to play a song?
Sure. Let's do it.
What's it gonna be? I know you were kind of see what happens. What are you gonna make it up right now?
No. I don't
That'd be
ever
fun.
feel it would be really fun, but I don't know how comfortable I'd be doing that. But yeah. I'd probably just take a snippet of a song that I've already written. I don't know. Let's I guess I'll do Walking on Water. Actually, this song was the catalyst. This and So She Runs, which is song number 2 on
Yeah.
Three Generations of Leaving. I wrote both of these with my very best friend, who now lives in Liverpool.
Right.
But we lived in Astoria, and she sang with me in my band, and she's all over the album on backups. And yeah, we wrote these 2 songs, and then I showed them to Gary, and he was really excited to record another album. So we kind of wrote an album around these 2 songs, which
Awesome. I
is
love it.
great. And yeah, I was very inspired after seeing the musical Bright Star, which is Edie Brickell and Steve Martin.
Oh,
And
yes.
it was so beautiful. And I came home and I wrote this little riff on banjo.
Wow.
And then yeah, Shannon came over and we wrote the song together.
I
Um,
love this song.
thank you.
Love this
Yeah.
song.
It's a weird little ditty, but I think it starts off the album nicely with um the perspective of the matriarch of the family, because since it's called Three Generations of Leaving, it's about 3 women from the same family, just different generations, and each song is sung by one of the women. So
Awesome. Love
yeah.
it. Love
So
it.
here goes Walking on Water. I've been walking on water, wasting all my time. I've been calling your daughters, waiting on the line. Oh, walking on water, all my shoes are dry. I'm walking on water, all I do is cry. Daddy, you left all your children waiting on a line. Daddy, you left all your children, all I do is cry. I'm walking on water, walking on my own. I'm walking to heaven, at least they tell me so. Daddy, you left all your children waiting on a line. Daddy, you left all your children, all I do is cry. I'm walking on water, walking on my own. I'm walking to heaven, at least they tell me so.
Beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
love that one.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you because I think you've got a little bit of June Carter, a little bit of Loretta Lynn. Was your name influenced by the Carter family song at all?
Oh yeah, that's
Same name?
why we named our that's
I was
why we
wondering.
named our band Single Girl Married Girl, because yeah, a lot of people don't get it, but those that do,
I love it.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I love it.
It was their first hit, and they were the pioneers of country music, so we just kind of figured, let's pay tribute to them.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, I love the Carter family. It's amazing stuff.
it's very
Incredible.
good.
Just songs. Just songs.
Right,
know,
right. And
straight up.
they went around the South, well, around the US, and took stories from people. Basically,
Yeah.
they went into people's homes and took down their own personal stories and then wrote songs about the stories. And I just
Incredible.
find that so interesting. I mean, that's songwriting, right?
Yeah.
So
Like I said, in some of your stuff, again, I heard like a modern Loretta Lynn, which I think
thank
is
you.
great to do because I think we all, pull from different areas and make it our own. And I think that's definitely what you're doing, and I think your songs are so strong. But tell us a little bit more about who influences you the most, who moves you the most. Is there a few that really have captured your heart and you've put it through your own artistic lens?
Um, yeah, I mean, we talked about Weezer, so we don't have
Yeah,
to go back there,
yeah,
but
right.
I don't know. As a kid, I was really into soundtracks, which is funny because now I work in film and TV.
Wow.
I listen to like soundtracks all the time. The Sleepless in Seattle soundtrack is amazing, and there's like
Yep.
old jazz and um gorgeous, and like Austin Powers. I was just thinking about this the other day. Like the first Austin Powers soundtrack, I listened to that. There was like Lenny
Wow.
Kravitz and Disney soundtracks, like all of the Disney cartoons that came out. Like I was obsessed with Lion King and um Little Mermaid and Beauty and the
Wow.
Beast. So yeah, I got influences from them. And then as I grew older, I just picked up more. Obviously, my parents influenced me in a very big way because I come from a very musical family, and
Ah,
musical theater has always been in my life. I've seen like hundreds of shows. I've been in shows, and my parents would bring me up to see musicals in LA when I was very little. So yeah, I've been doing that, and then or I was influenced by that, and my dad is also a musician. My parents met
ah,
in a folk group in high school.
really?
So yeah, so they both have like musical influences, especially the Beach Boys and the Beatles, of course. And what else? Yeah, my husband has influenced me a ton with
Mm.
his tastes. Belle and Sebastian,
Ah, yes.
Kings of Convenience. We met at an Emily Haynes show, and I'm obsessed
Wow.
with Metric and Emily Haynes.
Yeah,
But I think my teenage years were also important, like Fiona Apple, Enya,
yeah.
which is funny, they're two
And
opposite,
yeah,
but yeah, I
yeah,
used to like listen to Enya and light candles and like do seances, like, this was like The Craft, which was also a soundtrack I listened to.
yeah. Wow.
um so yeah, I have like influences all over the place, and then I really got into like 90s country, like Shania and Sarah Evans and
Wow.
the Dixie
Hooks.
Chicks and
Yeah.
Faith Hill, and yeah, those were all, and then obviously Christian music because I grew up in the church singing. So I just have influences from all
Yeah.
spectrums, all walks of life, and
Yeah.
I think that has been able to inform me in a very unique way, um,
Absolutely.
songwriting wise. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm grateful that I grew up listening to great music,
Yeah.
or so I think.
I I think it's really really important to have many different influences, you know. I mean,
Right.
for me it's from Jeff Buckley to
Mm.
Aretha Franklin to Andre 3000 to
Oh
Tom
yeah.
Waits to
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder,
Ah,
Rufus Wainwright, uh,
yes. I love
Jenny
Rufus.
Lewis,
Yes.
so many.
Right, look, Kylie,
Ringo.
they were big on me.
I
Biggest influence, probably.
Yeah, what's Under the Blacklight? I love that record.
Yeah,
Jenny.
yes. I
And
loved
then
their early stuff. Yeah.
okay. And then Jenny's solo stuff is
Mhm.
magnificent. Tori
Yeah.
Amos, Suzanne
Mhm.
Vega, a lot of girls. And these days,
Right.
Jenny Beth. Do you know Jenny Beth from Savages?
No, I don't. Mm-mm.
And there's a gal from the UK called Heartworms. You should definitely check her out.
Okay,
She's gonna come up quick. But
cool.
yeah, I think it's important to just pull from as many people as you can
Yeah,
and just listen to it. Because I think, if you've got the gift of music in you, you're getting somehow it's like osmosis,
right,
you know? And
right.
but it's kind of like just studying your craft too,
Absolutely.
And I think
Yeah.
I can hear a lot of different influences and I can hear a lot of depth.
Oh,
So I
thanks.
think that's where you found that.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, old country is like a huge influence on me too, like Hank Williams and Patsy Cline and
Yeah.
Loretta and Dolly. But
Lefty?
what?
Lefty?
Lefty?
Lefty. No, left. Well, I'm a
Oh,
left. I am
oh,
actually a lefty.
oh, nice. I didn't know that.
You'll see in a second, but unless it's reversed on the screen.
It could be. What mine reversed? I don't know.
You know what?
I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
did look like a lefty, but you're
Oh,
not.
I am a lefty.
Are you? Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, you play lefty too?
Yeah.
Oh, high
Yeah.
five.
High five.
There's so few. There's so few of us.
Yeah. We're a weird bunch.
Yeah, we've got.
Just
Hey,
kidding.
we got a good. We got McCartney. We got Jimi Hendrix.
I know.
Kurt
You
Cobain.
you don't. Oh yeah, Kurt was lefty. That's right.
Oh, was that blues singer Albert King
Mm.
was a lefty as well. But the thing about Albert King is, do you flip your strings? You flip.
I just buy instruments that are left-handed.
Okay, but your low E is on the top.
Yes.
Okay, so if you
Yes,
buy a
yes,
left, yeah.
correct.
So Albert King, like we all flip it. Like this is a lefty made guitar, but I have guitars that I just flip. So Albert King did not flip his guitar. So he just played it literally upside down.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know you were a lefty. That's amazing.
Yep.
That's
Got
great.
my two lefty guitars in the corner.
Wow.
Yeah.
So talk
It's
to me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say my dad is a guitarist and he has all these amazing guitars, like a 60s Rickenbacker, and I can't play them because they're right-handed. And so my husband's like, I get the guitars. Like, I'm just like,
Did you-
okay.
See, I learned to play a little bit upside down, Chelsey, because I'd be at a campfire.
Oh yeah.
Someone would say, Brent, can you play a song? It's like, well, you got a lefty? He's like, no, but play this. So I would just kind of play it and not as well.
Right, right.
But did you ever kind of run into that where it's like, all right, it's the only thing around? And
I mean, I would always be like, here, you play, I'll sing.
yeah,
But yeah.
cool. Now the song, was it Scared to Move?
Mm-hmm.
It's lovely. I
Thank
love your
you.
work. I love your work so much. It's such an honor you're here. If I haven't said
Oh,
it,
thank you. I really appreciate you asking me. Thank you for having me.
it's wonderful. Who did the animation for that video? It's really lovely.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. Ryan D. Anderson. You should follow him on Instagram. He's fabulous. I believe he's in Vancouver. But yeah, he just makes this amazing animated art. And
It's
then
beautiful.
the actual song is harpist Mary Lattimore, and she is just, I mean, I'm so like thrilled that she is on our album. She's amazing. If you haven't heard her stuff, you should go
I
give it a
haven't.
listen because her harp
I'm getting a
songs
running list
are
of
gorgeous.
people I need to check out.
Yeah,
Really
her
fun.
songs are great to like listen to at night when you're driving. Like they're very they're not like normal harp, like what you would think of harp music being. Like it's just
Yeah.
it's very cool. So yeah, she was on that song, and it actually ended up, we took two songs and we put them together, and that is what Scared to Move is.
Oh wow. So it's not
Yeah.
exclusively totally all yours.
No, it's ours. I just had two ideas, and then we were like, what if we just put them together? And it became Scared to Move.
Gotcha. I just got to put in my braces really quick.
Oh yeah, do it.
No, I'm kidding. It's
Your
the har-
face brace, your face brace.
Yes. Speaking of lefties,
Hey.
so this one is actually a lefty guitar, but as you can see, there's a
Yeah,
picture.
it's gorgeous.
But, thank you. I love her. This was a gift. We were on the road in Detroit. We're actually in Indiana or near the border. And funny story, we were talking about some friends of ours called 19 Wheels. Their van had just gotten broken into on tour. And we're at breakfast. We're on the road. We're at breakfast in the hotel, 9 in the morning, talking about 19 Wheels van getting broken into and all that stuff. And our guitar player, Brian, goes out to the van for something. And he goes, guys, our van just got broken into.
Oh.
Unbelievable. And I don't think I ate the rest of that donut. But anyways,
Get with you?
what leads me to that story is I had a guitar that was in there that was stolen. That
Oh,
was like my
no.
first guitar. So I was kind of dating this girl at the time, and she said, I'm gonna buy you a guitar.
Mm,
Price is no. Whatever it is, I'm gonna buy it and
that's
pick out
awesome.
whatever you want. And I'm like, Lori, no one's ever done this for me. What do you mean? Are you serious? And she's like, yeah, you just have to promise to write good songs on it and take it places.
Oh my gosh. How
So
lovely.
I picked this baby out, which is pretty much, I think I've written probably every song on it, unless it was piano. But yeah, so it's a great gift, and I love her. I'm really lucky.
Yeah,
So
that's an amazing gift. I love it.
yeah, I couldn't believe it, Chelsea. There's a few different guitars that I like, but I'm a firm believer that the shoes don't make the man. But I also believe that you need to have the tools
Oh
if you're
yeah.
gonna work really, really hard. So I wasn't too punk rock to say, "Oh, I can't have that; it's too expensive." Said, "Hey, I'm gonna work this thing, man, and it's gotta last." So
Right.
here we are. So I'm gonna do a song that we're actually. May I play a song, Chelsea?
Oh, of course,
May I
please.
play? So I'm gonna do a song. So we're doing Dark Side of the Moon front to back to celebrate 5 years of the Center of You on Sunday.
Amazing.
Those of you who are watching Hotel Cafe this Sunday, 5 years of music, art, and community. And we're going to do Dark Side of the Moon front to back.
Woo.
And of course, you're invited, Chelsea, but I think you're
I can't come, but I know Emily is singing and I'm so excited for her.
she is. She is doing Us and Them, I believe.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm having everybody do is include an original song
Mm,
within the Dark Side of the Moon song, because we all know that Dark Side of the Moon is like kind of one continuous piece, right?
right.
So it's that everybody kind of blend your own song into, the Pink Floyd song. So I'm not going to perform my Pink Floyd part, but I'll do this one because I think it works within the theme of the Pink Floyd song. So
Awesome.
give it a go. I'm going to just get some water, talk amongst yourselves. Second. I love the cat on your wall there. It's beautiful.
Oh,
Tell us, is
thanks.
that your cat clock?
It's a cat clock. My mom got it for us for Christmas. We have 3 cats,
Do
so
you?
we're cat people. Yes.
Is it also a cuckoo clock?
It is a cuckoo clock.
You're
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah. Well, no, it's nothing pops out, but the eyes move.
Oh man, I
That
wish something
is
popped out.
considered a cuckoo.
My grandfather Arthur had a cuckoo clock,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
and I loved him dearly, and I always loved going to spend time at his house in Detroit because he had that cuckoo clock,
Yeah.
and I'd never seen anything like it. It's
Kids
wild.
always remember those things.
It was. I still see it in my head. I see that little bird come out.
Cuckoo,
Yeah.
cuckoo.
Speaking of cuckoo, it's called Feel Love. You lie, you wanna feel, you don't lie. I don't wanna feel what it's like to be happy, and I wanna feel what it's like to be free. Over you. Oh, you can't change my mind. Oh, not you. Oh, you can't change my mind. Yeah, and I wanna see you, the color in your eyes, and I wanna know that there is something more than this.
Gotta put these politicians to the test. Yeah, so I don't feel so weary, scared, and cold. And I know the answer isn't in a wall. Oh, but you can't spit your fire. Yeah, but we won't grow windmill. And when you run, where do you go? And when you run, what you running from? Yeah, I wanna feel love. Yeah, 'cause love is all around. Love is all around. You know, you're scared of time. When our leaders draw the line between right and wrong and divided you and I. Another spoke in the wheel, another lie. And now we walk the line, the tragedy and hope. And I thought we learned these lessons years ago. But you can't spit your fire. Either way, we won't grow windmill. When you run, where do you go? And when you run, what you running from? Yeah, I wanna feel love. Yeah, 'cause love is all around. Love is all around. Love is all around. We don't need no education. We don't need no thoughts control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. The teacher teaches kids right from wrong. The teacher teaches kids right from wrong. The teacher teaches kids right from wrong.
Woo!
Wasn't sure if I was gonna throw that tag in there or not.
Nice. I like it. It fits.
But that's not the song I'm gonna do, actually. Someone else is doing that one. But anyway, yeah, there it is. Little song off my last record called Your Heartbeat is Revolution.
Amazing.
Good times. So do you enjoy writing in themes? Do you ever do that? Or is it kind of just a collection of songs? Like you talked, I think you hinted upon that maybe you do a little bit in themes.
You mean like a I don't know, like a
I'm
whole.
going to talk about this presidential election or these troubles that we're going through, or do you, or is it more of a collection? Do you sit down and to do a body of work thematically, or is it more like just hodgepodge?
In the past, it has just been whatever comes out, but I just recently thought to do an entire album, the theme being the oppressor and having it be different ways of being oppressed or telling other people's oppression stories. so that is like one thing that I've got kind of in my brain. I'm not sure that that's going to be the next album, but yeah, just something like that.
So sometimes you do kind of write in with some sort of theme.
Yeah, I mean, I've never done it really before, but
Yeah.
um and actually this last album, Three Generations of Leaving, has a theme, but we didn't really come up with it until we finished the album and we saw all the
Yeah.
songs together. And
Yeah.
um yeah, we didn't think like we should write this multi generational family
Yeah.
of women and like write songs from their perspective until like we were sitting down looking at all the songs we had recorded and then we're
And
like,
then
oh, there's like a theme through all of these songs.
yeah,
So
you
yeah,
wrote your way to it
we
in such a
did.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
The record, Your Heartbeat is Revolution, it was my third Arthur Autumn record, so you try not to repeat yourself.
Yeah.
So the first record is took 20 years to write, and it's really, really moody, and there's some kind of dark moments on it. And then the second record I did in Topanga, and it was
Mm.
more like I was a little happier. So it was very Sergeant Pepper's. It was
Nice.
very like I went for that. Like I for the first time actually wore the Beatles on my sleeve. Like
Awesome.
versus just write a hook like the Beatles. It was more like whimsical, like Beatles writing.
Fun.
That
Yeah.
was Sir Orchid and the Magnificent. And then I was in the middle of writing Your Heartbeat is Revolution, the last one, and it was going to be a little bit more of another personal record because I guess I went downhill. No, but no, it was just going to be it's going to be a little bit more of a modern record, less acoustic guitars and that kind of thing. And I
Right.
remember going halfway through, and it was around 2016. The record came out in 2018, but I was writing it around 2016 when the presidential election, if you know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying.
Yes,
And
I do.
I saw that coming, and I was like, oh my God, it's not the time to write about myself.
No.
So
Yeah.
you can maybe catch in the lyric of Feel Love is a little bit more political.
Yeah, no, I caught that for sure. I was gonna ask you about that. So you wrote
Yeah,
an entire album of like political songs?
not all the way through, but about halfway through, I was just like, it's not time to talk about me.
Right.
It's not. We got some serious stuff happening, and songwriting is how we get stuff off our chest too. And how
Absolutely.
we can process it. We're very lucky.
Right.
That's why I'm so happy to work with these kids because if I didn't have the outlet, I
Right.
wouldn't. You and I wouldn't be talking. That's not. I wouldn't have made it.
Right.
So we're. We have to work through these things. And
Absolutely.
and it's a healthy way to do it. So that song, there's probably about 4 or 5 songs, maybe a little bit more, that lean towards addressing that time, that scary time.
It's
So
still kind of scary actually.
it is.
I mean, we're always at like the brink of disaster. Like,
It's crazy.
we'll
And
see what happens.
I was singing some of the lyric, and where it says, I want to put these politicians to the test so I don't feel so weary, scared, and cold.
Hmm.
I literally just thought about the kids going into school these days. Like,
Yeah.
and, obviously the shootings were happening then, but now it's just heartbreaking. It's like every
It's
other
so
day, and
sad.
it's like, you know, these kids walking into school like being afraid. Like
Yeah.
I pray for my nieces and my nephews, like keep them safe, and it's like this is so crazy that I'm
That we
praying to
have to
keep
do
them
that.
safe in schools. It's just
It's ridiculous.
yeah, we don't
And
want to take this interview to a downer, but hey, man, we're artists, and
no,
I think it's our duty to kind of address things that we see, and
absolutely.
if our music can help someone else get through the day or process those things as we are, then I think that's our duty. I don't know. Would you
I
agree
think
with
so too.
that?
I totally think so. And if you look at music throughout like forever, you kind of associate music movements with what's going on in the world at the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of happening now. It's a little like the 60s with like Pete Seeger and like and I'm so like
Yeah.
yeah, just the fact that I play folk music, like I feel like it's my duty
Yeah.
to write some songs that are political, quite frankly. And I did write a song last year, and um I hope to record it, but yeah, it's
Please
like
do. Please do. We need
fucking
it.
crazy. We need all of the, I mean, it's just there's so much hypocrisy in this world, and
Yeah.
it's so incredibly frustrating to continue to watch the same things happen over and over and over again, and we keep saying the same shit over and over
Yeah.
again, and I just want someone to fucking do something. Like,
Yeah. And we shouldn't have to. I just got the chills because
yeah,
we shouldn't have to write these songs.
we
We should be
shouldn't.
able to write Beach Boys songs, but we
Right.
can't. We can't right now. We can't because it's, I firmly believe that you can't call yourself an artist and not take on, okay, I'm going to talk about this, I'm going to sing about this. Some people say, oh, I don't think it's my responsibility. Well, I firmly disagree. Then go be an accountant, you know,
Right. Yeah.
go do IT, you
Yeah,
know.
and maybe if you're not, I mean, if you don't want to be so explicit about it, there are ways to do it without being
Right,
explicit.
right.
um I mean, Margot Price does a
Yeah,
really good job of
yeah.
doing it, and
Jason
she
Isbell.
kind of like gives a big, middle finger, sorry if anyone's watching,
Yeah.
to to you politicians, and yeah, Jason Isbell, and there's a
Pearl
big
Jam.
movement. Yeah, Pearl Jam is amazing. Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people using their platform for good, and
And
I
that's what it is.
I I fully
And
support that.
and that's exactly what it is. That's why we're doing the Electric Moon Foundation, because it's like when I was, turned on by Black Flag and the Cramps and Fugazi and Nirvana, it was like, that's what I want to do. It wasn't for booze and chicks. It was literally like, I want to be a vehicle, and I want
Right.
to save myself right now, and I want to help save others. And if I get one little ounce of a platform, I'm going to do the Sun Art Review, and I'm going to do Electric Moon Foundation, and
Right.
try to. I just think it's a duty. Like, whenever somebody
Absolutely.
says, we work at Alexandra House, and Judy, the founder, is an amazing person to me, and meeting her and becoming friends with her, it's just like, means more to me than meeting Paul McCartney, But whenever someone thanks her for her work, she's like, just doing the gig, just doing
Right.
my job, and I literally think it's we can give, we have a voice, we have microphones, and we
Yeah.
can help give other people a voice,
Hmm.
and that's a powerful thing that I think that, you know we all should think about. And you don't have to be an artist, you could be an athlete, you know um
Absolutely.
what's a cat that took a knee? I mean, amazing. What's a
Colin
cat that,
Kaepernick.
yeah, he sparked, like, he was right, and I kneel right beside him,
Yeah.
and because he used his platform, you know
Yeah. I'm fully
it's
with
crazy
that.
times. So do you have any shows coming up? What's
I
on the agenda?
do. Thanks for
What's
asking.
up?
Next Tuesday I'm playing Writer's Block at Hotel Cafe
Yeah.
at it starts at 9. I think I'm on third, 9:30 or so. And yeah, I'm excited for that. And then May 2nd, I'm doing another full band show at for We Found New Music. That's going to be at Hotel
Awesome.
Ziggy on Sunset in West Hollywood. So yeah, those are the two
Great.
coming up, and I'm excited for both. So
I'm gonna try to be at one of them.
awesome.
Once again, I'm not just saying this because you're the guest, sister, I
Oh.
swear. But I'm a huge
Thank
fan.
you.
I
Oh,
really,
thank
I
you.
really, really like what you're doing, and I like the songwriting. I love your voice. I love the production, and um, yeah, you should be in a lot more films.
Thank you.
You know, and
I'm working on
and
it.
touring, and touring with Margot or
Right?
Jenny. And
Yeah.
then when you get there, just say, "Hey, Arthur, we can fit you. We can fit you on the side stage.
Right.
Just let
Yeah.
me know."
I
But
love
yeah,
Jenny.
so
Yeah.
well, I think we'll wrap this thing up, but we've got the Sunday Night Review. For those of you watching, we're going to be celebrating 5 years of music and art and community, and bringing this community together and supporting artists. I think has been the agenda from the start, and it's cool to see, you know, the folks that have been on Center Review to collaborate with one another and go to each other's shows and do shows together. So we're going to be celebrating 5 years with Dark Side of the Moon front to back, Hotel Cafe, 8:30. Chelsea will get you on the next one. And then we've got the big Electric Moon Foundation Rock and Bowl, second annual. That's going to be happening May 13th, so pretty excited about that. $20 ticket gets you in to see, who we got? We've got Violet Ray is performing, Oriana, you may have met her. Neat Freak, and then I didn't tell you this, but we have a production company and we're starting a tribute to Pearl Jam called Spin the Black Circle.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
my
so that's
husband's a
gonna be
big
our
fan.
you guys got to come out to that. It's gonna be Saturday night, May 13th.
Sweet. Okay.
It's gonna be amazing.
Awesome.
So we'll be working to raise funds for our spring and summer music and art camps for these amazing kids, so that we can be give them a little warmth in their hearts and they can be okay and not feel so lost, like maybe like I did, maybe you did,
Right.
or we all do sometimes. So
Yep.
so yeah, two cool things coming up. You guys can come along. And it's always goofy to plug things, Chelsea.
It
Do you
is.
tell them awkward?
I never remember to do it, so yeah, whatever.
Dude, nobody's on me. Like I get off the phone, like, Brent, you didn't mention this, you didn't mention that, you didn't putting the pressure on myself. A lot of weight here, man.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, we have to do it, right?
We do. So where do we find you at Single Girl, Married Girl on the IGs, right?
Right. Yeah, you can find everything on our website, singlegirlmarriedgirl.com, but IG is singlegirlmarriedgirl.band. I don't know, it's a really long ass fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then yeah, you can find us on Spotify, everywhere you stream music. Just look for Single Girl Married Girl. It's not the song, it's the artist.
Right.
Because you'll see a lot of Single Girl Married Girls pop up, but that's a song, so
Right.
that's what we're named after. And yeah,
The shows one more time.
Yeah.
The
What?
shows one more time. Your shows.
Oh yeah, Hotel Cafe, next Tuesday, the 18th of April, and then at 9, and May 2nd at like 7 at Hotel Ziggy for We Found New Music.
Great. And then all your stuff's on iTunes for the most part, right?
Everything's everywhere
All
you can stream
platforms.
music.
Great.
Yes, but Bandcamp is the only place you can get those first two releases.
Whoa.
The secret sauce.
I'm so happy to be in on that secret.
Yeah.
Wow. Actually, it's not just me anymore.
They're
but-
silly songs, so some of them are, hold up, but a lot of them are a little bit.
Hey, could be good influence for the kids' songs.
Oh yeah, right?
Yeah. Hey, we got a song, Friend. It said Friend.
Woo!
Catchy, but it's got a little hip hop.
You're my friend.
But I tell you what, they sing it loud, man. Friend. They sing it.
Awesome. I love it.
It's like an arena of hearts singing back at you. It's incredible.
Music is the best.
And especially when you're giving them words about changing the world and diversity and empowerment and encouragement, when they're singing that at their loudest voices, it's powerful, man. It's like a wave. It's incredible. I'm lucky. I'm grateful. Well, I think that's our show. We could probably stay and chat for quite some time, but thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you to Chelsey Coy from Single Girl, Married Girl for being our guest tonight. I'm such a huge fan. If you guys are new to Chelsey, you have to look her up. She's a tremendous songwriter with a fantastic voice and wisdom in her writing. And she just knows how to do it, guys. So go check it out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chelsey.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Be good. Do nice things.
Yeah.
See you.